Matthew chapter 6, verses 16 through 18. When you fast, do not look somber, as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So this lesson is about fasting, so let's first discuss what fasting means in a spiritual sense. The Old Testament talks about fasting in an effort to rely less on this world and rely more on God. Fasting is a practice to bring us closer to God and to help us realize we as Christians must not be completely reliant on the world. Fasting is a way to understand we are more than just our worldly desires, and it's a way to practice denying ourselves of the flesh, which is a biblical term for denying ourselves the worldly desires within us. So there's that form of spiritual fasting that we just talked about, and then there's the kind of health, intermittent, different kinds of fasting to go according with your diet. So that's not what I'm talking about, but that is very important and very cool. But today we're focusing more on the spiritual fasting that we find and see in the Bible. So with all that being said, it is not a sin to eat, obviously. You and I and all of us need to eat. In fact, I love eating. However, there is something spiritual about not only understanding, but practicing the fact that we are not just worldly beings, but spiritual beings. Fasting for a short time can offer clarity, understanding, and closeness with God. In modern times, we fast from other things, meaning we give up on something in order to be closer to God. For example, I have friends who do not pick up their phones on Sunday. This is an effort to practice Sabbath and being with God and resting. And they rest from their phones and from all the distractions that come with it. Our tradition of Christians for thousands of years has been to practice giving up on something in order to be closer to God. This tradition that's in our calendar year as Christians, both Catholics and Protestants, is called Lent. Not lint like the stuff in your pocket, but Lent. This can be anything from giving up television and social media to chocolate or video games. I've even had a friend who gave up music, and in the time he would usually listen to music, he would pray or sit in silence. It is difficult in our time to do those things as we are all so overstimulated. Our minds are constantly racing or we are being constantly entertained. So if you think of fasting, think about how you can be more reliant on God and less on the world. The purpose is not just to not eat or to not play video games or to not eat chocolate, but to replace that activity or those things with something spiritual. It doesn't work to just give up social media, but sit on your phone for 20 minutes trying your hardest not to click on Instagram. You must replace that activity with another activity. So, please discuss in your groups what it would be like to give up on something for a time or for a certain time in the day or week, and brainstorm on what could be a replacement activity for your spiritual growth.